But now as the Owls run their offense, Minnebach keeps it himself, goes around the left side, breaks a few tackles, and Minnebach with a nice run out to his own 36.
The old-fashioned option around the left end, and he elected to keep it and picked up some important blocks and picked up a first down. And I think, I'm not too sure, but check your records, that's the first Bensalem first down tonight. As we second. I just checked my records, and by golly, it was the second one.
Your records and our de facto stat man helping us out tonight.
Isn't he looking fishy as a National League umpire?
Certainly does. This time a quick slant off the left side. And
where's the number 6? Another first down.
That's now 3 as we'll keep track on our own.
I'm seeing something I don't like. We got 2 touchdowns. We get up in a hurry, and now it looks like our defense may be losing a little focus. This they can't do. They gotta put the just stop them. They gotta slam that door shut early. They cannot let Bensalem move up the field.
Minnebach will pass again, this time off to the sideline once again. Picks up a nice block from his receiver out there. And number 3, Rob Dunner, down to the Eagle 30. And Norristown seeing the Owls come out throwing on this series, and something they haven't seen this year much.
Give Minnebach a lot of credit on that. He was under a lot of pressure there as the Eagle defense was in on top of him. He was being rushed by 4 and 5 people at a time, and he still got that ball off, hit the receiver right in the letter, so to speak, and that's what made the play.
And Roger head coach Dennis Strobel seems to like to roll him out to that left side, and he's a right-hander, which makes it that much tougher for him to pass the ball, but so far looking good. This time quick hitter off the left side once again, and that play will pick up 5 yards for Bensalem, as that looked like number 32, Joe Thompson.
A passing attack like that is going to soften up the line in the center, and then the Owls took advantage of that on that quick opener that went off the left tackle. They were looking, the Eagles didn't react fast enough. He had a 5-yard gain before he was brought down in the secondary.
So Bensalem driving as we near 10 minutes remaining in the first half. 2nd and 5 from the Norristown 25. Minnebach drops back again. Under more pressure, this time throws high. Intended receiver over on that side. Look like number 12, that's Jake Soley, his tight end. And on the coverage was number 1.
Yeah, Soley is a favorite receiver at 6'6", 230 pounds. You know, he has good size. He's a good target out on that sideline. And Minnebach will go to him quite often.
So you can understand at that size why he may have gone a little high, especially with 5'9", 155 Omar Jenkins covering him.
Could have thrown up here and still hit him.
So it'll be 3rd and 5 for the Owls as Minnebach drops back again. This time tries to loft it up. It was deflected at the line of scrimmage. Might have been number 3, Lofton Thompson, in there with a hand on it.
Yeah,
and that ball falls dead.
And out there trying and diving for the ball was number 33, James Kelly. And had he grabbed it, he would have been all alone, but he was off balance too.
So Lofton Thompson switched up to linebacker from his normal safety spot this year to try and shore up the front 7 or the front 8, as Norristown will sometimes play. And it looks like Bensalem will go for it on 4th and 5.
Oh yeah, they're at the 25. They'd kick into the end zone. It would be put out the 20-yard line anyway. Yes. And now Minnebach wants a timeout because he doesn't like something he sees or doesn't see. Yeah, probably something he doesn't see.
Well, this certainly is a big play for them, even early in this second quarter, as they're down by 12. And Minnebach certainly doesn't want to make any mistakes. That'll be Bensalem's first charge timeout.
Minnebach's having a pretty good night tonight. He's 3 for 6 so far for 47 yards. So he's been able to connect on those throws and has been able to move the Owls. But once again, you notice they get into what we call the red zone. The Eagles have trouble. No, the Philadelphia Eagles have a little trouble scoring and getting in from that when they get inside the 20, 25-yard line. And this is one of the reasons. Now the Owls are having the same trouble here now.
Well, it's tough. You certainly need the experience and the system and the power game down in that area. Of course, the Norristown Eagles don't spend much time in the red zone. Damon Carroll just usually runs through it.
It's like a sieve to get to the end zone, right?
So we'll see what head coach Dennis Strobel has up his sleeve here on 4th and 5 as the Owls trying to continue their drive.
Well, you know, he should be going to the air. And as you can see, though, they're spreading the Eagles out here. They got 2 wide receivers, slot back. There'll be lots of fun. Watch this.
Minnickbach rolling right. Lofts it up to number 3, and taking a big hit there was Rob Dunner. That hit delivered by number 4, Lamont Johnson, coming up from the safety spot, and he certainly read that well.
It was a good idea. It was poorly executed and well defended. And when you have those 3 things happen all at once, it goes over to the opposing team.
Well, those 2 guys, Lamont Johnson and Lofton Thompson, both of them last year. Thompson, a junior now, and Johnson, a senior. Both of them big hitters last year in the Norristown secondary. And that time you saw why. Certainly expecting big things from them. And the Norristown defense hasn't quite gotten rolling yet. But a nice series there for the Eagles. Good stop. And they'll go back on offense. Out of the eye with Hicks split wide. This time they go to Carroll up the middle. Carroll spins away.
I like him. This is the first chance I've had the first time I've really had a chance to see him operate, I think, since he was a sophomore. And he has gathered plenty of experience. That was a straight power play up the center. He rolled nicely, spun away, spun out of the hands of a tackler, and picked up about 3 yards on his own.
Well, for those who just see the 60-yard touchdown runs in the paper and the 300-yard games, you really don't know what a good runner he is. He has tremendous vision and great moves to go along with that speed. This time, little misdirection for Norristown. The give is finally to Thompson, and he breaks away. One man to chase him, and it looks like Thompson's pulling away. Thompson in for the touchdown, a long Damon Carroll-like touchdown run for Lofton Thompson, and Norristown quickly up 18-0.
I think Thompson would tell you that Damon Carroll's are Thompson-like runs. What a run that was. Breaks the tackle in the center of the line, sidesteps another back at the in the secondary, and then it's by birdie, a foot race to the end zone, which Thompson had no trouble winning.
And the one thing, Roger, that is a trademark of Norristown backs from as long as probably anyone can remember, when they get into that secondary, people do not catch them. Whether it be Damon Carroll or Danny Boyd or Wayne Denson from 10 years ago, usually Norristown backs are not caught from behind. This time Morano, kick goes cleanly, and he gets it through, and it's 19-0 Norristown Eagles with 8:43 remaining in the second quarter.
Here we are, 3 minutes and 17 seconds into the second quarter. Norristown has scored every time they've had the ball. True, they had to take advantage of a recovered punt, but they did it, and that's the sign of a good team.
Well, Roger, Norristown certainly trying to keep their heads in this season after what was looking to shape up as a tremendous season, and then of course they get the Bucks early and are defeated by them. You certainly have to wonder how they'll respond the rest of this season and try and stay in this playoff race, and just hope that, as you've predicted, someone else will knock off the Bucks.
Well, just watch what happens. I'm predicted, and you'll see it step out now. The next thing Norristown has to do is beat Central Bucks East. Not next week, the week after, because next week they don't play East.
That's right. Next week we will be right here again, as the Eagles will take on yet another Suburban 1 foe, and that will be the Chamonix Indians. I'm sorry.
Darrell has told us now that Bensalem has had the ball 5 minutes and 25 seconds compared to Norristown's 9 minutes and 51 seconds.
So Norristown controlling the ball, as the numbers will tell you, and the kick is smothered quickly by Norristown. Out to the 30-yard line are the Owls.
Incidentally, all of these statistics are coming to us from a gentleman called Darrell Dabbas, who is chief statistician and writer with the Bucks County Courier-Times. in Levittown. Did you know that?
I did not know that, and
Neither did he, but I just found it out.
if his bosses are listening, I suggest he get a raise.
We had that.
So once again, two-man split wide for the Owls. They give to the tailback. That was number 5 for the Owls.
Lofton Thompson. Is he all over the place? Does he get paid by the number of people he hits and the number of positions he gets into?
Well, Thompson certainly was shaping up, even last year, as I said, to be one of the big hitters to return on this Eagle defense. And the Eagles usually marked by tough linebacking. And certainly this year, Thompson moved up.
I see him as a linebacker, but that time he gets the runner right at the line of scrimmage, falling into a hole real nicely. He's been covering on pass plays. Tell me what he doesn't do. Does he take the water out during?
I don't believe so. I haven't seen him do that yet. Throws to the sideline, and the catch is made. A nice shoestring catch on that sideline. That looked like number 3, Rob Dunner for the Owls.
But short of a first down. That's a mistake by the Owls. If he ran that far to get the ball, he could have run 2 more yards and had a first down on the play. But we still got a 3rd and 2, so they really have another shot. But when you're against a team like Norristown, you got to get the first downs when you can.
So it will be 3rd and a long one. Minnebach right up the middle, blasts his way for about 4 yards. That time a nice run right behind his center. And
you don't have a bad crowd here for a game that was supposed to have been played last night, played tonight instead. And they had to find out that it was postponed from other places because I don't think your paper came out today, did it? No. There's no Saturday newspaper. So you got a good crowd here for a postponed Friday night game.
That's for sure. These Norristown fans will support, and again, a lot of attention paid to these Eagles, so people are interested in coming out and seeing them.
You called all your friends and relatives and told them to come out tonight so they could watch you here at this on the sidelines, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And if you're wondering where our normal voice, Jeff Brandon, is, he is otherwise committed tonight, and we will hope to have him back next week if you were eagerly anticipating this Eagles season for his dulcet tones.
You mean I don't sound like him at all?
You sound nothing like him, Roger. So it's 2nd and 9 for the Bensalem Owls. We're halfway through this second quarter. Minnebach drops back again. This time rolls to the right. Hits his receiver, and they are up to about the midfield stripe.
Yeah, Norristown giving them a lot of open area up front and counting on your speed to come up and tackle the receivers as soon as they get the ball. And that's what happened that time. It looks more or less like a prevent defense. Why they would be in it with 5 minutes and 32 seconds remaining here in the first half, I don't know. But that's pretty much what they're running.
So far, the Owls have shown us an entertaining offense with some rollouts and quick pass plays. And Minnebach a fairly efficient day. This time, he'll keep it himself. Won't look to pitch on the option. He'll pick up very little on the play. That was a 3rd down play, and now the Owls will go to 4th.
And finds he cannot move against that big Norristown line in the center. You got some big men there. I'm just looking at number 56 out there. Jeremy Daly at 5'8". No, I can't be right.
I think we're looking at Jeff Fisk, number 66, who's a star 2A
there you go.
lineman for the Owls.
Yeah. This guy is a mere pocketful for him.
The Bensalem punt sails out of bounds. They're going to mark that. Keep on going, keep on going. They're going to mark that around the 36-yard line of the Eagles, where they will take over.
Yeah, the official takes that angle and then just walks in and marks it off. And that's the only way they can really tell where it goes out of bounds. So the Eagles now only have 36 yards, so they have 64 to go, right?
There you go, 64 yards. You're better at math than Mr. Brandon, I will tell you that. So Nidasek now will try and lead the Eagles down. They pitch to the near side to Carroll. Carroll's got room on the sideline, and he's going to beat him. That's going to be it. They can stop now as Damon Carroll is going to go 64 yards. for a Norristown touchdown at 4:31 left in the second.
I'm going to do this one without the statistician. That was a 64-yard drive in one play, and it took about 3 seconds.
You prorate Carroll's 4.3 speed in the 40 over that, and that's going to be about a 6-7 second play. And the Eagles have quickly jumped up on the Owls 25-0 using all speed from the backfield.
All I want to know is, does he have FAA clearance?
He is a burner.
Is that why you have red lights on the top of these booths? I mean, that man flew down there, and that's called a single-engine jet.
Yes, he's top secret military project release. Morano with the kick. That is good.
26-0. Yeah, add them up. And I'll bring in my calculator and we'll go to town here. End up points by yard. Absolutely unbelievable. I'm serious. I think Roger Grove should get little red lights to put on those helmets, because when he comes in for a landing, he doesn't want to scrape any of those helmets on his way in.
Well, Carroll piling up big yardage again this game and delivering everything that has been expected and written about for this first Suburban 1 League home game.
Let's see, if I were starting a team today, I think I would want Carroll as one of my running backs. I'd want probably Dave Armstrong as my fullback.
Of course, the Central Bucks West fullback who terrorized the Eagles last week.
Right. And I think might even go with Thackeray from Central Bucks East as my quarterback. Wide receiver, don't know yet. I'll have to wait until I see some more games for that.
Well, we probably won't get to see much of Rich Hicks this game as the Eagles are way up. Returns some room up the middle. Slipping tackle, the ball is loose. It looks like the Owls have recovered it. Looks like it was number 5 for the Owls, Marcus Bradshaw, who fumbled and then recovered.
He erased his own mistake there. However, it gives the Owls the ball 1st and 10 at their own 36. Let's see if they can do what the Eagles just did. 64 yards in one play. And how many seconds were on that thing? 5? 9 seconds. I was off by a little bit.
Well, Roger, certainly you've seen a lot of your share of Suburban 1 football games. What do you do in a game like this when you're down 26-0 to such a talented team? How do you run an offense?
Have some fun. Just do the things that you want to practice doing, and you played tight for the first time. Loosen up. You have nothing to lose at this point except the football like that.
That was a fingertip catch that time by number 12, Jake Soley of the Owls. And the ball was knocked loose as a Norristown defender came by, but Soley fell on it himself. And the big target moves the chains for the Owls as they get a...
You're down 26-0. You might as well have as much fun as you possibly can. You got another game next week. You don't give up with this one by any chance, but you just pull out all the stops and you do all the things you've wanted to do, but haven't had an opportunity to do.
And certainly Bensalem next week will have a more competitive game at their level as they play Harry S. Truman High School at home.
Oh, that's what you think. Harry S. Truman is tough.
This time the Owls go up the middle for a gain of 4 yards. I believe that was number 5, Bradshaw on the carry.
Harry S. Truman defense is tough. They will absolutely put you just got to be careful. Norristown will probably not have too much trouble with Truman because they are susceptible to the big play. But don't undersell the Tigers. In fact, I think they just beat Pennsbury last night.
Yeah, that's what we hear. And Pennsbury struggling this year after a very competitive game with Norristown last year. This time, around the end is Minnebach. Good yardage. He'll move the chains again and stop the clock as he gets out of bounds. It'll be...
See, that's another first down. Minnebach just rolls out to the left, finds the sideline, and he is now 8 for 10 for 72 yards through the air. And as we can see, he can run a bit, too.
Yeah, those are certainly impressive numbers, and we'll have to see much more of it if Bensalem has any hopes of even climbing back close in this game. So Minenbach with one man split out wide, man in the slot, two backs in the eye.
Look at this.
And he hands that second back. That looks like Bradshaw, and he stopped quickly at the line of scrimmage. Looked like number 64. That's Ernie Mathis, Norristown defensive tackle.
Mathis was, did you say Mathis, number 64?
Yeah, number 64.
Mathis, 5'9", 225 pounds. And Minenbach ran right smack into it and couldn't get any further.
Well, you gave the numbers. Ernie is low on that line and taking up a lot of space.
We're now down to 2 minutes in the first half. And, of course, if you just joined us, glad to have you along. Norristown out in front, 26. That's right, I said 26-0. First half isn't over yet.
And the Bensalem Owls have a 2nd and 10. Quarterback Ted Minenbach rolling right. Steps up, looking deep down the field to number 83. A great catch down there at the 2-yard line.
Yeah, what a reception there at that time by Charlie Maddox. He was behind the receiver, was able to gather that ball in, then thought he was a member of the Philadelphia Eagles, got up and ran into the end zone, but that is the way it is. So now Bensalem with a chance to get on the scoreboard here. 1 minute and 35 seconds remaining. Let's see if the Eagle defense can stop at the 3.
Well, Bensalem using those rollouts very effectively, and Minenbach extremely comfortable back there and stepping up and looking for his receivers. A strong throw on the run, and they're 1st and goal at the 3. This time he hands the first man through. That's Joe Thompson struggling, and Norristown turns him away. Looked like number 78 there, Dwayne Evans, on the tackle for the Eagles.
Eagle defense rising to the test here. Pushes back the Owls by a yard. Now they're back at the 4 for that 2nd down.
And here are the problems that the Owls are going to have as they call their 2nd timeout, Roger. They're faced with trying to go power football with Norristown, which is more of a Central Bucks West thing to do, but Bensalem may have some trouble doing it down close.
You wait and see. Maybe another play into the line, and Minenbach will roll out, throw it into the end zone.
Certainly most of their success tonight has been through the air.
And when you did, Minenbach's good arm, very accurate thrower. What happened to the two teams? They're off.
It's a timeout. They're having a discussion down here at 53 seconds left.
Milk it to the end. Well, I don't know. I'm an old-fashioned guy, as you can see. I don't go for this stuff coming off to the sidelines on timeouts. I like them out on the field.
That and the wing tee, right, Roger?
Now maybe the wishbone.
Okay.
Single wing. Well, that's the wing tee now. Although, you know, I'll tell you, I think it was about 6 or 7 years ago, Delaware Valley College had a series of play that actually ran off the single wing with the quarterback in the back or up on the line or wherever they wanted to put him, but they reversed him around, and the back man always received the ball like you would see in the what do they call it now, the shotgun, these newfangled things.
Well, we'd like to welcome you to NFL Films here on Norristown Area School District Television. Thanks to our camera people, Janelle Horton and Matt McGran tonight, as we watch the Owls trying to pound one in before halftime at 2nd and 3. Minenbach fakes the pitch, now pitches out to Joe Thompson. He tries to get around the end, struggling to the goal line, and he's turned back short. That time he picked up a couple yards, and Ra Lusain first there to meet him.
And this time he better throw it. Better throw it. He's got to go to the air. Now, he's tried it up the middle. He's tried it around the end. He's got to go to the air. And they want another timeout to go over and talk about that.
Yeah, well,
I can hear that huddle now. Okay, Joe, you go to the right, cut down left. Mike, you go to the left, cut down right. And Harry, you come over to center, and I'll hit one of you.
Drawing it up in the sand, just like on the playground, and no sense keeping those timeouts and taking them into halftime.
That's true.
So Bensalem will use them all up in their 3rd down attempt to finally put some points on the board here.
Well, the official went over to talk to the Bensalem coach during that timeout.
All right, just.
In fact, he's just coming back now. I don't know what Strobel wanted, but he's got it, whatever it is. But you see where the ball still is, still at the 3, but now it's 3rd down.
Well, what he needs is a 240-pound back like that Dave Armstrong out of Central Bucks West, and I don't think the official's going to supply him with one of those. So we'll see what
he's only a sophomore.
Yeah, it's very scary.
I'll tell you something else that really makes me feel old. I called. I've been calling football so long on the radio that I described plays his father when his father was a fullback for Central Bucks West back in the 70s. I mean, just think about that for a little while. I'm on my second generation.
Well, so we're lucky to have the experience tonight of Roger Conduit.
She got a lot of experience and very little youth.
Experience and humor and certainly varying quantities, as you can tell. 3rd and goal for the Bensalem Owls at the 3. Minnebach rolling right. Under pressure, finds his man in the end zone. A little late hit there, but they separate. Look like number 83, Charles Maddox, putting points on the board for the Owls, and a nice play by Minnebach to let his man clear across the middle for the Owl touchdown with 36 seconds left in the second quarter, 26-6.
Days when I was quarterbacking for the Puxatawny Rams. Call those plays in line of scrimmage. That time he hit the guy going over the center, right?
Yep, over the center as Maddox was split out wide and came across the back of the end zone. And now it'll be number 1, Frank Lombardo for the extra point try. High snap, Minnebach gets it down, and the kick is through. So 26-7,
and that will make everybody at Bensalem a little bit happier going into the locker room for the halftime break. There's nothing like going in there down 26-0. 26-7, it's a completely different story. They at least know that they can score. And as I say, they'll come out and have fun here in the second half.
Well, Norristown's big play capability, they're going to have to be careful here to not let Norristown put any more points on the board. Norristown probably talking about just that, trying to decide if they want to devise something here to spring someone for a couple more points before they go in.
And here again, now the kicker is a little bit befuddled. Do you give it to Thompson, who can fly, or do you give it to Carroll, who can soar? That drive, incidentally, from Mr. Dobas, took 8 plays and we covered 64 yards in 3 minutes and 55 seconds. Minnebach was 3 for 3 for 42 of those yards. There was 1 rush in the play for 8 yards. Now that's the way to do it. But where do you kick the ball? That's simply
low
you kick it to an up lineman and hope
it's
that
still loose, and it looks like it's been recovered by the Owls at the Norristown 28. So the ball kicking around in a couple of Norristown players. And that time the Owls shoot downfield and dive on the ball. They've got 32 seconds to go 28 yards and put some more points on.
Number 21 recovered that for the Bensalem Owls. That's Mark Hackney.
And that's certainly a big play for Hackney, since he was one of the players who since he was the player who fumbled that ball that led to more Norristown points earlier in this game.
So we have 32 seconds. The thing is, can they get on the scoreboard again in 32 seconds? Well, if they go to the air for 3 plays, and you know that's exactly what you're going to do, you're not going to see anybody run this ball. Incidentally, there's a player injured on the other side of the field. It looks like one of the Owls, but because nobody's gone over there from Norristown. Anyway, but nevertheless, they're over there taking care of them. But you know, Minnebach is going to go to the air. He has to. With only 32 seconds, the ball at the 28, there'd be no sense in running it at all. There just isn't time. So Norristown will be looking for the pass, and this usually is interception area this time because there's not that much of the field to cover, and they know what's coming up.
And again,
do you agree, sir?
Absolutely, absolutely, and that's certainly the strength of the Owls' offense, as we've seen. And again, we have to mention with those defenders in Norristown's secondary, they have Carroll back there. You'll see Lofton Thompson back there, as well as number 4, Lamont Johnson, as Rich Hicks trots off the field. It was slightly shaken up on that play. But as I was saying, you have to watch the interceptions here because Norristown has a few players back there who can certainly bring it back all the way on you. So Minnebach will go with one back. Time's throw, he's hit, and it is picked off. Coming up the sideline now, number 84. He's got some room. Not pushed out of bounds yet. There he goes, chased by number 85 and brought down finally at the Bensalem 25. So we've had a few swings here, and that time it was number 84, Frank Williams, on the pick, and a nice return by Williams.
Yeah, but you can blame that interception on a big lineman, number 66, Jeff Fish, who drilled Minnebach as he was letting that ball go. Minnebach got nothing near steam on there, and the pass went short. The interception happened, but it was the lineman, and there's so little time. Does the lineman get credit for that? Because he was in there, and he absolutely drilled Minnebach.
And Fisk certainly has all the tools. A quick 6'3", 270. Threw all that into Minnebach, and Norristown will go from the 30. Nidasek back to throw. Southpaw looking into the end zone. That's Carroll down there. Carroll goes up. Ball is tipped up in the air and falls incomplete. 6 seconds remaining.
Well, that'll stop the clock. He has one more play. Does he go to the air for the last one? Or does he just pitch out to Carroll and let him do his thing?
Yeah, I think that's the better bet, that Norristown's not going to take any unnecessary risks here. They already
well, they'll pass interference on the play, so they won't have as far to go. They'll have another first down as he steps off about 15, and that'll take it all the way down to the 20.
And Roger,
now, our boss in the background shook his head no when I said the pitch out to Carroll. Now he's at the 20. Now that pitch out even looks better than it did before.
It also may change things. That's well within Nidasek's range to get that ball down there into the end zone on a crossing pattern to Hicks or out to Carroll again, but they're setting up for the field goal. They've brought Morano out, and certainly now with the pass interference call, they're in range, and Morano is going to be kicking a 37-yard field goal, which is also the length he's kicked one from this year. That's low and left.
To me like it may have been blocked a bit, but I don't think so. But nevertheless, that didn't make sense. You're 26-7, you're kicking the field goal. Well, maybe you just wanted to give him some practice. What do you think?
Sure. As I said,
field goal?
Morano's kicked one from 37 this year. That's his only field goal, and he's now 1 for 2 on the 37-yarders. And Bensalem presumably will just kill this clock here with 2 seconds left, sitting on the Norristown 20-yard line.
Are those the Norristown white jerseys that I see down here, the away jerseys?
And they do kneel down. Yeah, that'll be the end of the first half. A few exciting touchdowns by Norristown, and they're up 26-7 as we go into halftime. Roger and I will come back and give you a quick wrap of that first half, and actually come back to do the whole second half. So hang around for more exciting Norristown Eagle football. We're back here on a brisk Saturday night at Norristown's Roosevelt Field. We're at the half. The Norristown Eagles leading 26-7 over the Bensalem Males. I'm Walt Fry with Roger Conduit. And Roger, certainly what we expected and what you had predicted. Norristown just coming out and certainly blowing the Bensalem Males away with talent.
Well, I think a classic example in contrast is taking place right now. You saw how Norristown just came out on the field. They run out, they charge out, they're out in there in the circle. Bensalem comes out a little bit slower, a little bit more determined, I guess, more deliberate in their actions, and that's reflected on the scoreboard, 26-7, and that's reflected in the way they've been playing too. Bensalem has got to turn things around. As I said, they cannot look at the scoreboard right now. They've got to come out and have a good time in the second half and do the things they want to do the way they want to do them. And have fun doing it. They're loose. They don't. I mean, if you're going to lose a ball game, have fun doing it, and that's what they have to do right now.
Absolutely. So we'll look for that from the Owls, and probably just look for more of the same from the Norristown Eagles. Now let's run down the scoring for you. Norristown started it out very quickly. It was Damon Carroll on a 5-yard run, capping off an excellent Norristown drive. That was with 6:46 left in the first. And Roger, certainly not the big plays in that drive that we're used to seeing from Norristown.
No, and that's a typical first drive. Teams feeling out each other. Norristown not sure where they could run, how they could run, where they would find their holes, where they would get their big blocks, what they could expect from the Owls. And it took them a little bit longer than it would take them in later series.
Well, then, just before the end of the first quarter, with 48 seconds remaining, after Norristown had recovered a fumble on a punt, Damon Carroll took the ball for 30 yards and another quick Norristown score. Again, the run failed after that. The kick had failed on the first attempt. And Norristown was up 12-0. And then they struck quickly in the second quarter, Roger.
Yeah, it was a little bit more of the same. This time it was Thompson, wasn't it, that went for the touchdown as they freed up a new runner. And Thompson showed that he can run just about as fast as Carroll, maybe a step or two behind.
And Thompson, with that long 70-yard run, with just over 8 minutes to go in the second quarter, tack that on to 3 of his other runs, and Thompson finishes the first half with 94 yards. A nice effort by Lofton Thompson to give some rest to Damon Carroll. Again, the Norristown Eagles scored with 4:31 left in the second half.
Yeah, well, that drive took an awful long time. That was 9 seconds, I think, right?
That's right, and certainly the Norristown offense will do that to you. Quick strike and get the defense back out there. But Damon Carroll struck again, and that was a 64-yard run with 4.5 to go in the second quarter. That put Norristown up 26-7 or 26-0, excuse me. I'm jumping ahead of myself.
And of course, we were facetious there, but that was the first play from scrimmage on that series.
Of course, and then Damon Carroll, as I said, with the 64-yard run, he finishes with some impressive numbers for the first half.
Yeah. How many? Where was it?
He's got 140 yards for that first half, including the 5-yard, 30-yard, and 64-yard touchdowns, and that's on 12 carries. So Damon Carroll certainly making the most of his carries and 2 TDs.
What a difference from last week when he didn't have any yardage in the first half, I don't think, against or minuscule yardage against West in the first half. And you see, that's what I'm saying. The Eagles are out to show that was a mistake, that should never have been. Of course, the Bensalem Owls are not a Central Bucks West either. They don't execute like West, and that's the big thing with the Central Bucks West team, execution, and that's something the Owls don't do, and the Eagles are taking advantage of it tonight.
Well, that's absolutely right, that the Eagles are looking to take out their frustrations, and quickly, as we tell you, that Bensalem scored on a 3-yard touchdown. It was a touchdown pass. That time Ted Minibach connected with 36 seconds left in the second quarter, yes, to put the Owls on the board, and that made it 26-7.